On her way home, a woman runs into a little girl who tells her that she's looking for her parents. When the woman asks her where she lives, the little girl shakes her head and says, "I don't know." Eve Grant worked as a software developer in New York, and she was often caught up with her job and caring for her husband and kids, so she hardly had any time for herself. It had also been a while since she last spent time with her mother. One day, she decided to take a week off from work to visit her mother. The visit turned out to be a breath of fresh air and a good break from a very hectic daily life. She left her mom's home feeling happy and rejuvenated. As Eve drove down the highway on her way home, her phone rang, so she pulled over to pick it up. It was her husband Josh calling her. "Yes, honey," she replied. "Please come back already, Eve. Where are you? These kids are going to kill me. I'm so done resolving their fights." Eve chuckled. "I'll be home in 20 minutes if I don't run into any nasty traffic. Just a little more time, honey." "Oh, thank God. Also, we're ordering pizza tonight. Do you want me to order something else for you?" "No, I'm good, thanks." "All right then. See you, babe. Come back soon. I miss you." "Miss you too. See you," Eve replied and hung up. She peered in the rearview mirror, straightened her hair, and applied lipstick, smiling and eager to get home. However, just as she grabbed the wheel again, her attention was pulled to a little girl crossing the highway alone. The cars were speeding fast along the road, and Eve was scared for the little girl. She hurriedly unbuckled her seatbelt and got down. "Wait a minute! Don't move!" she called out as she hurried towards the tiny girl. She gently took the girl to the side and knelt to face her. "Can I help you with something, honey? What are you doing here alone? It can be dangerous crossing the highway like that." The little girl, who couldn't have been older than 5, smiled and nodded. "I'm looking for my parents," she said. "Alone? You're too little for that, honey," Eve said. "What's your name? And where do you live?" "I'm Mia," she replied. But Eve noticed Mia's smile faded and she looked confused. "I don't know the address." "Oh God, how will I find her parents now?" Eve wondered. And why is she alone? No parent would leave their child alone in the middle of the highway. So Eve decided to take Mia to the nearest police station and ask for help. "Listen, Mia, if you come with me, I can help you. We can find your parents, shall we?" she offered, extending her hand for the small child to hold. Mia grabbed her hand with her little fingers. "Thank you for helping me." "No worries, let's go." Eve brought Mia to her car and fed the location of the nearest police station into the GPS. Thankfully, they'd be there shortly, as it was only a 10-minute drive. Having secured Mia into the seat safely, Eve started driving toward the city. But only a couple of minutes later, Mia screamed, "Yay, we found Mommy and Daddy. I miss them."
Also, if you've not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these animal stories every day. Now, back to the story.
Eve slammed on the brakes and stopped the car, but she didn't see anyone around. They had pulled over in front of a cemetery, and Eve was surprised when Mia jumped out and hurried inside. "Mia, wait for me!" Eve shouted as she got down the car and followed her until the little girl stopped by a grave. "This is Daddy and here is Mommy," she said. "Hello, Mommy and Daddy. How are you? I just wanted to tell you that Jason and I miss you, and I love you." Eve looked at the 2 adjacent gravestones that bore the names Richard and Cindy Bradford. "Are your parents' names Richard and Cindy, Mia?" she asked, and Mia nodded. Just then, Eve heard a voice say, "Mia, thank God you're here. I was so worried." Eve turned around and saw a teenage boy running up to Mia and hugging her. "I've warned you countless times not to leave the house alone, Mia. What if something bad happened to you? Don't do it ever again." "I'm sorry, but you are?" Eve asked. "I'm Mia's older brother, Jason." Eve told Jason about how she met Mia while crossing the highway. "What happened to your parents?" she asked. "A month ago, our parents died in a car crash. Mia and I live in a little cottage built by my father in the woods near the highway. She missed our parents and insisted I bring her here, but I told her I would take her sometime later. I'm the only one she has. I guess she escaped when I was busy chopping wood. I'm sorry, Jason, but can I please spend some time with Mommy and Daddy? Please," Mia insisted. "Okay, but only for some time." he replied, and little Mia chirped in delight. Meanwhile, Jason thanked Eve. I appreciate your bringing her here safely. She's never left home alone like this before. It's been difficult to look after her after Mom and Dad left us. Anyway, I'll be more careful from now on. So it's just you two kids living alone? Eve asked. Jason smiled a little. Well, yeah, I might not look like it, but I'm 19 and I'm Mia's legal guardian. Even though Eve was late for home, something in her heart couldn't let her leave the cemetery and the two children alone. She decided to spend time with them there and safely drop them off at home. She texted Josh that she'd be a little late. After dropping the kids off that evening, Eve rushed home to hug her kids tightly. I missed you guys so much. I am so happy we are all together, she said, remembering how little Mia yearned for her parents. During dinner, Eve shared Mia's story with her family, which led to them deciding to spend the upcoming weekend with Mia and Jason. The following Sunday, Eve packed sandwiches, juices, fruits, and crackers and surprised Mia and Jason with a visit. They all had a lovely picnic together. Mia and Jason were thrilled to meet Eve's family and spend time with them, and Mia was particularly excited to meet Eve's children. Ever since that day, Eve has been regularly visiting Mia and Jason, and her children have become close friends with them.